Écoles, Sénégal. Jana to get over son, manga jungle, get the double of élèves exam, I'm the fit.
To make conditions, sometimes it's like giving conditions. And often we will see making conditions or to give conditions when we're trying to come into an agreement between two parties. And oftentimes, like with the police or in the military force, when they're trying to give certain conditions with maybe the other parties. So giving or making a condition, it's in its term conditional. That okay, if you give me this, I'll do this. That's conditional. Conditional means my work is as a result of you doing something for me. That is conditional. You know, if you pay me well, I'll do my job correctly. If you come pick me up, then I'll be on time. If you would just stop talking, I'll be able to finish your work on time. So those are conditions that you give. Sometimes people give conditions. So say, okay, you want something done absolutely. And people say, okay, what are your conditions? What is it that you want? What is it that will favor you? What is it that will boost you up in order to act either positively? Because oftentimes conditions are being given for a positive action to take place. If you pay me on time, I'll finish the work. Conditional, the use of if. That is making conditions. That is giving what you want. That is like giving, placing an order. You know, in a much more comfortable way. Like, you know, so that has been given a condition. If is a usage of if. If you do this, if you do this, if we do this, after you have tabled, you have had all your research done, you've had, or you've gathered all your proofs, you come and say, okay, if you want the students to work harder, then some of the conditions have to be, these conditions have to be met. A lesser student ratio, more active teachers, more interactive forms of teaching. So those are some of the conditions. And oftentimes these are being given after you must have done all your research work. And then now you want to start giving. You say, if this is done, if this is done, if you give me this, if you do this, if. So those are making a given conditions. You're giving it. It's almost like a recommendation. Those are conditions that you give. What about to give reason? To give reason. To give reason. To make conditions, often we use if. Your recommendations make conditions. You oftentimes use if. To give reason. To give reason. Reason means to explain further. In the sense, you're trying to explain further why you think that certain things need to be abolished. Why do you think that there should be a reduction in the student-teacher ratio, especially in the public system? Why? You have to give your reasons. It means you have to account for. You have to be able to explain. You have to be able to go into detail. Give your reasons. Tell me why you think that it's important that this should be done, that should be done. Tell me why you think that we should stop this. Give your reasons. Try to defend yourself. Try to explain yourself. Try to tell me in details. Of course, with proofs. That is giving your reason. It's logical. You're trying to be logical. You're trying to think. It's being critical. It's being able to think. It's being able to be logical. It's being able to explain. It's being able to prove. That is giving a reason. Don't you give a reason without backing it up. If you're trying to give me a reason, if you're trying to persuade me about something, that is you trying to give me a reason to be able to reason with you. If I'm not able to understand, help me understand. Tell me why. Why should I see what you're seeing? Why should I be able to visualize what you're telling me? That is giving reasons or giving a reason. I need to be able to be on the same plate with you. That is giving reasons why things happen, why they happen. So that is the meaning of giving a reason. You have to explain. You can explain. You account for. You describe. You inform. That is giving reasons. I need to be paid. Teachers need to be paid on time. Why? Because I feel like they work hard. In the public sector, they have a lot of students, 50 per one. That is a lot of work. They have a lot of material to cover. So I feel that if they have a little bit of incentives, if they have a little bit of break, if they have a little bit of reformation, that would help out to boost your morals and to boost up also the students. That is a reason I'm giving. And I want you to see with me that is a reason. So I'm giving you reasons why I came up with these conclusions. I'm giving you reasons why I had to choose this part. I'm giving you a reason why I compared this to this. I'm giving you reasons why my assumptions are made. I'm giving you reason. I'm wanting you to think with me. I'm trying to be logical about it. That is giving a reason. And then at the end of it all, you have the conclusion. Conclusion. Of course, we know that conclusion in an essay is very important. In an essay, the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. The introduction introduces the reader to what you want to say. It kind of spurs up, it gives a kind of anxiety about what you want to talk about. That is an introduction. It's a tip of the iceberg, like they say. And then you come to the body. The body entails explaining your position. Why are you where you are? What are you picking out to do? What is the data that you've collected? Why do you come up to what you've said? Because of course in the body often they'll tell you to have 3 paragraphs. The first explaining, the middle your research, and then the third paragraph your conclusions why you've chosen this part. And then at the end of it all you have the conclusion. You draw your conclusion. So conclusion means to wrap up. You're going to say conclusively, to conclude, to end, in a nutshell. Those are most of the words that you use. In a nutshell, conclusively, to end, these are some of the words that you probably use in a conclusion, to draw your conclusion. You want to tell the reader, it's a bit of the introduction, your body, and then you wrap up. To conclude, I stand with the fact that public education is very rigid. That is a conclusion. That is what you think it is. That is what you should understand. In conclusion, I think polygamy should be abolished. That is your point of view. That is your point of view. That is your conclusion. After you must have explained why you feel like polygamy needs to be abolished. Personally, I think it should be abolished too. So why do you feel it should be abolished? So these are some of the terms that we've looked at that you can use in an essay, in a description, in an article, and a poem, whatever it is that you want to write about, whatever the teacher asks a student to, you should be able to get this into it. You should be able to identify and be able to write per the rules of it. Conclusion. Thank you. Jana together with son manga jangale gita do bouger do faywa. Élèves te tolo ci examen linga sala am na fita mo gënal.